Welcome to Pokemon Masters Council. I'm your host, Gym Leader Justin. I'm joined by my co-host, Brandon Zero Schmucker. What's up, buddy?
Not much, just ready to talk about another Psychic Rep, this fun Moon deck.
Yeah, she's not a pretty one, but she's useful.
100%.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pokemon Masters Council. We put out a podcast, we put out battle guides, we put out battle videos of singles and VGC of all kinds. We do all sorts of stuff here. If that's something that interests you, maybe suggest smashing that big red subscribe button today. We are on a track this year. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscriptions. We really appreciate all the support. Like this video, it goes a long way to help with the algorithm. But today, we are discussing Cresselia. So, she's pure psychic. Brandon's that psychic gym leader here. I'm the grass gym leader. Hence all that green and purple. Bro, is she the ugliest psychic type Pokemon?
Oof. She's really got some decent competition with like Jinx and Mr. Mime.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
okay.
There's
That's
some
fair.
stinkers out there, brother.
That's fair. As usual, we do start out with the aesthetics here. With our guides, what do we think of this lady? I definitely prefer her shiny to the regular. It definitely helps the color scheme for sure.
For sure. Are you showing off the shiny on the vid here?
Oh yeah, bro.
I like the theme. It's like the rings I think are really cool. It's just like the weird body shape. I actually don't think the head is that bad. It's just kind of like the hands.
It's just a big blob of nothing in the body.
Yeah. Like the middle of this really missed, I feel like.
But competitively, she is pretty incredible. She's one of the strongest Pokemon coming in from the home update for Regulation D that started at the beginning of July. We've been waiting to talk about her. Brandon, she's pure psychic. And she only has one ability. It might seem like she's a little bit of a one-trick pony, but it's her move pool and her incredible stats that kind of set her apart.
Yeah, so let's go over it. Obviously, first, Levitate, you are immune to ground-type moves, and you are not touching terrain, so super important. As far as the HP, the stats, HP 120. We're starting out on a really high note here.
Yeah, dude. She's super thick. 120 HP, 110 for physical defense, and 120 special defense. 70, 75 for both offenses. Absolutely nothing to write home about. But 85 speed, that's actually a lot faster than what I thought she was. Especially for how often you see her run the move Trick Room.
Yeah, she's a speedy kind of tank, honestly, at 85 speed.
Rounding out at that 580, though. Yeah. That's where those paradox are at, Zero. She's way up there.
Yeah, and considering that 70 of those attacks that you don't even use, you have 510 points of usable stats. Really strong.
Absolutely. So the lunar Pokemon, definitely pretty sick. Let's get into it. There's a lot to talk about with her move pool and all that, so let's just dive right into the first set. So first up, we have a sort of generic VGC support. This is kind of the plug and play that goes into any team at any time and just works. She just does the work. She's got Terra Fairy with Moonblast, very powerful and, appropriate for her theme of the lunar Pokemon. She's got Trick Room, Helping Hand, so many good options. She also has great moves like Icy Wind that could be really good speed support if you're not running Trick Room variants. That's really powerful as well. And she has Lunar Blessing, Zero. This is something that only she gets. What do we got?
So this is basically Life Dew on steroids because it heals both Pokemon, but also heals these Pokemon of status conditions. So say goodbye to those burns, say goodbye to sleep. You can heal your partner who might be sleeping. So really strong sustain here with all of that bulk. As you can see from the EV spread, we are mostly investing in the bulk. The 8 special attack is just so we get the guaranteed one-hit KO with Moonblast onto Urshifu Dark, because she doesn't hit that hard. The Terra Fairy is purely defensive, so you're not weak to U-turns or to those Shadow Balls.
Definitely.
Or those ruinous Pokemon like the fish, Chi-Yu running around with all those dark pulses and stuff. He's one of the more popular ruin Pokemon right now.
Mm-hmm. It's important to note with Lunar Blessing, like if you are paired next to a Guts Pokemon that's holding a Flame Orb, if you Lunar Blessing at the end of the turn, the Flame Orb will ignite again, reburning them so that way at the start of the next turn, your Pokemon's at the exact same spot with the Guts boost intact. Very good spread, obviously, and I love the Terra Fairy because it is a very good defensive Terra for her, and obviously it's kind of, running double, isn't it, because it's gives you more powerful Moonblast.
Yeah, I like the single target Moonblast, like I said, because of Urshifu Dark in specific.
Yeah.
Overall, it's not really that strong, but for that utility right there,
it comes
gotta go with Moonblast. Yeah.
The other VGC set that we have here, Zero, this can work in singles as well. This is like the screens Cresselia. This is like your, really, really strong screen setter, right? So very similar kind of options. Like you can run Icy Wind if you're not in a Trick Room kind of thing and give you some speed control there. But either way, you can have a speed control option. You can obviously run Lunar Blessing if you want. You get 2 move slots, Helping Hand, lots of good options that you want for those 2 moves to go with your Moonblast or Dazzling Gleam or Psychic move or whatever your, offensive option might be, right? And then your other 2 moves, Reflect and Light Screen. I love her with screens. You thought she was tanky before? Put her with screens. And then on top of that, like, you've actually showed off a set like this in our Ursaluna guide where we have the Terra Dark. That's my particular favorite Terra for her defensively, especially in VGC, because it allows her to shrug off those super effective Ghost and Dark type moves that are coming at her when she's naturally Psychic type. And it also means that she is immune to Prankster Taunt, Zero.
Yeah, that's super strong because then you don't have to commit to the mental herb. Making yourself weak to Urshifu is kind of tough, but he can never one-hit KO you. So, rest assured there.
Yeah, definitely. He can never be able to one-shot you. It's not possible. So right now in the meta for Regulation D, there's a lot of Prankster taunts. There are taunts that aren't Prankster. You're still going to be taunted by those. But the Prankster ones are what those gotcha for that one turn that you need to set up your Trick Room or to set up the right type of screen or whatever the case may be, right?
Right.
So in the case of like my Ursaluna team, that might be, because that's a hard Trick Room team, I need the Trick Room off. So if it's enough to buy me that one turn, it's worth it. Kind of similar thought process to how some people will go Terra Ghost for that one turn to avoid fake out.
100%. It's all in the utility here. Just pop it if you really, really need it.
But yeah, my favorite way to run her is with the Light Clay. So I am a mixed spread here with both physical and special defense, kind of a little bit leaning more towards physical to even it out a little bit, and then max HP. Nothing too fancy with the EVs for my personal taste, but I do like the Light Clay because that gives us 8 turns of the screens, but you could also do Mental Herb, which then allows you to shrug off the natural taunts as well. Might be a bit redundant depending on what you think you might need for your squad.
Yeah, we've actually seen both versions of this Cresselia on the channel already. The Helping Hand Lunar Blessing variant was on the Zoroark Glastrier video, and this Screens version was on their Ursaluna team. And both versions of this Pokemon put in a lot of work. This is something you absolutely have to plan for when you're game planning for VGC.
Definitely. So I think that's a lot kind of to take in. She can do a lot in VGC, but she's gonna be thick, she's gonna be annoying, and the main thing that we need to talk about here that we have not mentioned on either of these sets verbally, but it's there on the screen, she's one of the few pokes that still has Ally Switch, Zero.
100%. This is a move that you can also see on one of our videos. And like you said, she's just super annoying. Just the fact that she gets it can create some head games for opposing teams.
People might predict it and shoot a move off into the left thinking they're Ally Switch, and you might not even have Ally Switch on your move slot.
Right.
She definitely has what we call that 5 move slot syndrome, don't she, bro?
100%.
So let's talk about Cresselia in singles, my brother. What do we got over here? Because the first thing I see in my notes is singles setup. So I'm thinking Calm Mind. Let's go.
100%, buddy. So this set, EV's pretty similar, but for me, I'm just going max physical defense, 252 HP in defense with a bold nature. As for you can throw in your special attack or your special defense. I'm going Terra Fairy again. Like I said, that could be really anything that fits your team, your style. Terra Water's good. Terra Dark is good, like Justin has mentioned. And you can go with Leftovers. I think Leftovers pretty appropriate. Or Weakness Policy, because we've got Stored Power on the list, Justin.
Yeah, buddy. So Calm Mind, Weakness Policy, Stored Power, so strong. Stab Psychic, I love it. She's going to be insanely difficult to deal with. The Moonblast would probably be my go-to pick there, but I do like the Shadow Ball. The T-Wave is definitely nice. Lunar Blessing, though, being able to shrug off, like, that can't be understated how powerful that is in singles, because while it's less healing than Moonlight, it's the same amount of healing as Moonlight if it's bad weather, but you still get the benefit of getting rid of your statuses. So if somebody tries to poison you in singles and stall you out that way because you're so thick and you've Calm Minding up, right, with max defense, you're a big brick, you know what house to get through, right?
Yeah, and I think it's kind of important to note, like, I think Moonlight or Lunar Blessing is item dependent. Like, if you're Leftovers, I think you can go Lunar Blessing, but if you're Weakness Policy, I think you have to go Moonlight because you're just overall going to have less healing.
Definitely, so you need the bigger chunk, for sure. So I like this set. I think it's really, really powerful. The Stored Power being Stab is insane. I do agree with you. I'm going to go not double dip, sorry. I am going to go the double stab. Not very often we call it the double stab, but yeah, I am going to go with Terra Fairy on this to have Moonblast be more powerful. I don't hate the idea of going Terra Ghost for Shadow Ball also, but I do think Fairy's better.
I think so too. It's better defensively, and honestly, this Pokemon doesn't hit very hard. Like, you're going to need at least 2 Calm Minds before you can start, like, 2 to 3 hit KOing things, but she's thick. It's hard for them to do any of that kind of stuff in return. So, really solid Mon. It's almost always going to get off, like, whatever it's scheming because it's so thick, it's so hard to take down. Almost impossible to one-hit KO. But yeah, super, super strong Pokemon.
So, Zero, we are back on Pikalytics because we are well into the month of July. We now have Pikalytics. We got some stats. We're going to start over on Regulation D for singles. Cresselia is number 10 in the singles spotlight, coming off of that last one you talked about, and look at what we got here. Moonlight, Calm Mind, Moonblast, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Stored Power, Lunar Dance. Want to talk about Lunar Dance real quick?
Yeah, so Lunar Dance is a really interesting move. So she'll faint.
Like Memento.
Exactly. But then the next Pokemon will be fully healed, so you'll be relieved of your status, as well as all your HP.
Yeah, it's literally the full heal item.
I believe that happens before you take, like, spikes and stealth rock damage, so it's really hard to stop.
Yeah. It's a magic full heal in-game. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, lots of good coverage options here for singles. Very, very powerful. And actually, this is something I fought in doubles. Number 1 Terra for singles for her, Terra Electric. And that's because there's so much flying going around right now in the meta. Covert Cloak, another really good option for her. Can't be understated. All these secondary move that she might want to get rid of, especially when we switch over to doubles and we talk about things like Fake Out. Switching over to VGC, the girls coming in number 6, Zero.
Yep, and then look at those top moves. Lunar Blessing, Trick Room, Moonblast, Helping Hand, Ally Switch, all the moves that we just talked about.
The top 5 moves we said. We talked about the 5 move slot syndrome. There it is, right there in front of your face. That Zero set, that's the squad if you're not doing the screens build. Terra Fairy, just like the boy was mentioning, let's go. And Mental Herb, otherwise Safety Goggles, that's a popular option. Lefties, Helmet, Cloak, Citrus, lots of really, really good options. And as you can see way down at the bottom, 34% going that bold, going to have that more physically defensive rather than specially. But we do see some specially defensive. It's sprinkled out in the midst.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And POW is really strong and has super effective damage against you. I think physically defensive is just a smarter idea right now. We'll see if that changes, but I feel like physical attacking Pokemon have kind of just always had an edge in the history of Pokemon.
Yeah, and she has a lot of tools against that, like we talked about. That's why I love screens for her. She's one of my favorite screen setters because she's just so thick. It's like you're going to get the move off. You know what I mean?
Right. Like
and
guaranteed.
then next turn, you're going to get whatever you want off. So she's a lot of fun. She's just... And again, being able to have my shiny, like you can see on screen here, makes it a lot better. But not my favorite aesthetic Pokemon, but kind of like Primarina. Wow, do they make up for it for being a competitive powerhouse. S-tier Pokemon. S+.
Yep.
All right, trainers and masters alike, thank you so much for staying to the end of the video. We really appreciate it. If you did make it all the way to the end, make sure that you smash that big red subscribe button, hit the like, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all of our how to use guides and battle videos for Regulation D. Until next time, I'm Gym Leader Justin.
And I'm Zero.
Council's adjourned.